Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have a Marvel Legends series, X-Men Marvel's Gladiator. This is from the Marvel's Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave, and as you can see, he comes in this typical style packaging. It's got the X-Men X on top. We got some artwork of the Guardian on the side, which looks it's and then we got some generic posing right there. And we got a little bit of a read-up information as well. Then, in order to build the beautiful Apocalypse, you have to collect them all, which you might want to get a couple extra multiple men because you need multiple men. But so far, I've reviewed Magneto, Sabretooth, Storm, and multiple man. So I got to do Psylocke and Wolverine, and then I can build Apocalypse. So let's go ahead and get Gladiator out of the package. Gladiator out of the package looks pretty freaking awesome. And he does come with one itty-bitty but very crucial Build-A-Figure piece. And that is Apocalypse. His head, his skull, and it looks amazing. Now, I did have to get two of these figures. Had to return one because, as you can see, even this one, the teeth aren't perfect, but the other one just looked like he took a load to the mouth, and it just did not, it didn't look right. So I had to get another Gladiator, and so I can get the better painted head. As Apocalypse is one of my favorite characters of all time, so I could not have a wonky looking Apocalypse, especially one that has a mouth full of joy. And Gladiator himself looks pretty awesome. Like, I was never a huge fan of him, but I mean, in the 90s cartoon, I mean, Gladiator was in there quite a bit, and I didn't get a hold of the exclusive that came out, so I know this is technically a re-release, a redeco in a sense. And he's got some blue shading in the mohawk, looking great, and his face looks good. Like, just really good sculpt. His head is very loose. Like, you can just see, you know, how well you get a lot of motion in his head, and he can look down this far and look back this far. And let me take his cape off. At least if I can. I gotta pop his head off. So you can really see. No, you can't because it's blurry. But yeah, there you go. You can see that the ball joint, how it sets in there, isn't too deep in the head. So it's very, you know, articulated. But let me just give you a quick rundown of the cape. Cape is red plastic, yellow trim, paints. It's an okay cape. It's got some metallic gold for the chain and stuff like that. But other than that, it's not a spectacular special cape. I mean, it almost looks like a Doctor Strange cape, honestly. And he has two holes in the back, which I wish he only had the one, but they give him two for some weird reason. And arms, same Marvel Legends articulation. Arms go up, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. He does have a wrist bend and rotation. Arms can go up quite a bit, actually. Just his arms have no issue, and then they can do the full rotate. Then he can lean forward quite a bit, which is great. Doesn't add any, like, there's the most gap you get is on the side, nothing up at the top, which is great. And then he can go back quite a bit as well. You know, his abs sort of stop, but either way, it looks great. He has all these painted on. It's just a lot of paint on this guy. I wish he had a little bit more sculpt. Like, this is painted, has a little bit of defects in it. His belt, I wish, was actually a physical belt instead of painting on belt stuff, or just sculpted in better. And he does have the waist rotation, giving him those bookshelf hips. He's a big guy, but, ooh, that did not sound good. He's a big guy, but he can do the splits. Don't know what actually made that pop. He has the thigh rotation, but what's bad is it doesn't really match. This is like a matte blue, and you can see this is a shiny blue because it's plastic to paint, and then the lines aren't that crisp on it. Then he has his typical double jointed knee. Got a little excess plastic, it looks like, on the tip. Boot swivel, which is just gummy feeling. This one rotates. This one. So I actually had to swap the figure out. I luckily didn't return the other Gladiator yet. His boot swivel just was not, it was way gummy and just like had a huge gap and stuff. I couldn't deal with that, so I swapped one QC for another. Some of the paint apps on this are not nearly as crisp, and then you got a big glooping purple blob on the back, which will be covered by a cape. But I'd rather have that than to have like a big gap in his leg. Like, his boot swivel should not be gummy like that, and it reminded me of like opening Toy Biz figures now. Like, some of that stuff is gummy and it just snaps off. So thankfully, didn't return it yet, so definitely glad I had a second one. So the figure, though, overall is pretty awesome. I wish we had some effects with them. I wish we might have got like an alternate head or some alternate hands, just something more. Because, I mean, he is sort of like a Superman-esque type character. Like, cool if we had like a screaming face or a face that has like beams coming out of his eyes. I don't know, just something more than just a big bulky guy, because I mean, I could have swore we already have, we get a lot of these big bulky guys, and honestly it's just they don't give us much with them. Like, he came with the smallest, coolest Build-A-Figure piece and a cape, but I mean, come on, we could have done with a little bit more, especially since he was a reissue and they didn't really have to do much to him. But yeah, let's see what type of poses I can get him in. Just got to bust out those flight stands and you can get them in a nice flying, pretty cool looking pose. I really like it. Old school Toy Biz flight stands, or you can make your own using like coat hangers and stuff. But I mean, this is awesome. I like this figure. He's simple, but he needs it if you need to continue with that 90s X-Men cartoon theme, if you have that going on and things like that. But I mean, huge shout out to Andrew Griffin. I mean, I got this case of X-Men figures from Toyco, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, besides, you know, one had QC issues, I could have reached out to Hasbro, but I just ended up buying a new one and swapping them out. And yeah, I hope you guys like this review. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. And make sure you guys stay up to date on your latest import and collectibles by joining on both those Toyco Facebook groups. One's for the community and communicating with fellow collectors and showing off your stuff, asking questions, things like that. The other one is for pre-orders, where you get that nice pre-order price and you know what's coming out, so you get dibs on that stuff instead of being late to the party all the time. Because sometimes you play that waiting game on some of these figures and they don't drop in price. They either go up or they just can't be found anymore. So make sure if you see something on Toyco's website, please use promo code UNBOXTOYCO, all caps, saves you 5% off your entire purchase. And I want you guys to have the best luck hunting. Keep on collecting. Have a beautiful day.